My love and hate, or I prefer really like and dislike, why I might, why I will sell this vehicle, and why you might want to avoid buying, or maybe really consider buying the Ford F-150 Lightning. Now, we did a live stream. If you're watching this as a mini episode, I'm saying this to you. We did a live stream where we talked a lot about electric vehicles, depreciation, vehicles that depreciate the most, vehicles that depreciate the least. And I've got a few things to say about this vehicle. And this vehicle is going to be perfect for so many people and not great for others. Now, EVs in general, here's my number one bone to pick with the Ford F-150 Lightning, and it's a bone to pick with all EVs. They depreciate, on average, more than the average. And I really like to have and own vehicles that depreciate very little because I love to change vehicles. I love experiencing new vehicles. I've got one woman in my life, one wife, one child to take care of, a daughter and a wife in my life, and I will do everything to take care of them, provide for them, and give them what they need. I don't feel that way about vehicles. Sometimes, I get these comments from people who seem to think like I'm almost like a bad guy for changing vehicles. Like, how could you sell your Bronco? I love to experience and learn about vehicles. And I have a channel where I need to know about vehicles. I need to talk to people about this. Now, Lawrence Merrick brings a great point. What about warranty coverage on the batteries? The batteries are guaranteed for 8 years or 160,000 kilometers, which must be 100,000 miles if you're in the US. So that warranty covers the battery not just from breaking, but it also guarantees that the battery will not have more than 30%. It won't lose 30% of its capacities in regards to charge time, in regards to autonomy, that it won't, break down or be less of use by more than 30%. I'm not using the correct words there, but I think that describes, instead of using a word that I can't remember and might not mean as much to you, I've described the situation. So, and Peugeot says, it sounds like I have two women in my life. Well, I do have two women in my life, just a little baby, Layla and Marie-Pierre. So one woman, many, 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 many vehicles. So my main dislike with the vehicle is about depreciation. Electric vehicles in general are depreciating more, and the Lightning depreciated a ton this year because Ford dropped the price by $10,000. Of course, they said that, we're following the excuse. We're following Tesla, but where is Tesla's truck? Tesla's truck is just starting to show up. So did they have to drop that price by 10 grand? I would have loved to have an opportunity to sell it at not a huge, incredible loss and be able to learn about another vehicle. But I do not. And if I do change it, I'm going to have to find something that really doesn't depreciate much. And it's probably going to be either a Porsche 911 or a Corvette. But here is, or another Bronco. I'm very, very tempted buy another Bronco. I know 2 Broncos would be crazy, but maybe a 2.3 liter, 2-door manual Bronco. My original order, which I kept changing to get my Bronco faster. I made all sorts of videos on how to get your Bronco faster because, well, hey, I'm Johnny from Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, and I am here to help save you money and help make your buying and ownership experience so much better. And that's why I also do some car care videos so that, I can mess up my paint job or I can cause a mechanical failure so that you don't have to deal with that. Now, I love or really like the idea of the technology on the Lightning. And every Ford owner that I know, every Ford that I've sold has not had issues with the BlueCruise. But my BlueCruise right here has been pretty horrific. Marie had, and this actually falls into the hate category. There's a solution to this. So hear me out, stick with me. I'll get you to the solution in case you're hating whatever brand vehicle, Toyota, GM, Chevrolet, Ram, Porsche, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Nissan, Lexus, Infiniti, Kia, Hyundai. You might have this type of problem with all these new technologies with any of those brands. So please don't go anywhere if you're another brand lover. This is going to be helpful. So let me get to the story first, then we'll get to the solution. Marie was driving back from many towns over for a doctor's appointment with the baby, and a Ram 1500 was driving very close, like BMW levels of close behind her. And this BlueCruise, for whatever reason, on the screen says imminent collision very often, almost always when you're passing, when you're in the left lane, even on a straightaway, you're in the left lane, in the right lane. So let's say I'm here and there's a transport 18-wheeler here. It slams on the brakes all of a sudden and says imminent collision. There's no warning before the braking. I've actually hurt my back because of this. And I actually have a long-term back injury, but I had some 6 out of 10 back pain, 7 out of 10 back pain for 2 days, which slowly diminished over 3 weeks because the vehicle braked from 120 to 100 in a quarter of a second. Now, Marie's coming back from this doctor's appointment with our daughter in the back seat, newborn, fresh, having that fresh baby smell. Not so fresh, babies don't smell that fresh. I don't know why people say they love the smell of babies. Anyway, it's not for me. So, coming back here, and the thing slams on the brakes, and it's done it on for a Toyota Corolla, a small car. It does it for a lot of Ram 1500s and mid-size and full-size trucks. So this thing is in the left lane, and whatever is going on with the sensors or cameras thinks what's in the right lane is somehow in front of me. And when you're about to start passing, slams on the brakes, and then realizes it's wrong, and then, is at 100 kilometers an hour. And then you're like, no, I want to go back to 120. And then the adaptive cruise control, anyways, if you don't do anything, will bring you back to your initial speed. If it doesn't slam on the brakes, again, I was trying to pass a vehicle, and I was in the BlueCruise mode, and the vehicle slammed on the brakes once, hit the brakes lightly 2 more times because of this imminent collision as I was trying to pass the vehicle. I got fed up, hit the gas, flew by. I'm happy there wasn't a police vehicle doing radar there, because he would have pulled me over. And he's like, why would you speed by someone in the left lane? I would have said, well, because my vehicle is being wild, and out of frustration, I just hit not the gas pedal, but the accelerator pedal. So that's my main big dislike with this vehicle. And then there's also just the overall complexity of the technology. That's also on my dislike list, because if I turn, there's no button that I've found yet, easily found, and I've looked through. Maybe there's tell me if I'm wrong, is there a BlueCruise button to just turn off BlueCruise? From what I can tell, I have to remove adaptive cruise control. So you've got the adaptive cruise control button right there. I have to go into the screen options. B-Raptor 24, howdy my friend. I have to go into the 15.5 inch vertical touchscreen. I have to go through different areas to then finally find where I can turn adaptive cruise control off, turn it off. Then I don't have BlueCruise, but I also don't have adaptive cruise control. But I want adaptive cruise control, but I do not want BlueCruise. Now, the solution, if you're having any problems with, no matter what brand you're running, if you're having trouble with the technology, don't just light your car on fire. Don't just go online and complain about it like I'm doing right now. Talk to your dealership. I have talked to my dealership. I was in for an appointment for some other stuff, an alignment, and they were installing the heated steering wheel. Well, the heated steering wiring was already there, but they're programming and putting in the microchips. So I was finally getting my heated steering wheel. Love the heated steering wheel on this thing. It's one of my love the heated seats. They go from warm to very hot. Love the heated steering wheel. It's got one setting, and it is nice and toasty, and I absolutely love it. But they did all the updates, but they didn't have time to do the whole, BlueCruise 1.3 install. So I'm running on BlueCruise. I found out I'm on BlueCruise 1.0 from my understanding. And I'm going to get the 1.3, but they said, look, we've given the updates to the vehicle. Let us know if it continues to do so. So when I go back to work, I'm going to say, yeah, it's still doing it. It's not braking as severely. I'm not losing 20 kilometers an hour. I'm losing 10 kilometers an hour, but it still beeps and screams at me sometimes, but less beeping and screaming and red flashing logo in the screen, but still a lot of 5 or 10 kilometers slow down, and then it realizes, oh, I'm okay. So it's better, but not nowhere near perfect. It was darn right dangerous before. Now it's not dangerous. It's not nearly as annoying. It doesn't scream at me as often. But I want to get rid of this vehicle. But Ford dropped the price by 10 grand, and I've got horrible resale. So if I want to get rid of it, my cost of ownership for 10 months will be a lot. $12,000 plus I had put cash down. Plus all the payments. It's going to be like 30 grand. 10 months will have cost me 30 grand. So at $3,000 per month, I'm like, you know what? I'll try to stick it out unless I make money with the TMF stock, because it should make money if interest rates come down significantly. What I love about the vehicle, well, I love the interior. You know, you've got this beautiful stitching. I've got this two glove compartments. The top one, it looks like it's nice, beautiful, not shiny, blind you metal like cars from the 1940s, 50s, and 60s had these dashes that if the sun hit them, it would almost blind you. I just love the fit and finish. The seats, so comfortable. I love the options. I love the sound system is incredible. I love the space. I love the practicality. Look, I've got a phone charger right there. I certainly wouldn't do this, but you could be charging your phone and watching YouTube at the same time. Of course I wouldn't do that. That's illegal. But great options. I love the look of the touchscreen, but the complexity of the touchscreen is a bit much. They need to simplify this. I'd love it if dealers, when they have, let's say, a vehicle that's dangerously braking out of nowhere, I'd love it if all manufacturers had their dealers reserve time for issues that are in regards to road safety, that it's just immediate service. If you think about it, manufacturers will say, you know what, dealers, don't sell any more of that vehicle until the update is done, because otherwise it's a safety issue. I've got a serious safety issue, and I'm not getting treated nearly as seriously as when a vehicle is unsold with some sort of safety issue. Heck, back in 2013, Lincoln MKZs and Fusions, the Lincoln MKZ was late by like 6 months because of the fuel pump, if I recall correctly. In the Fusion, they wouldn't sell them, and they're taking them off the road because of fuel pump. And that was like a long-term, maybe there'll be an issue. I never saw a single one have an issue. I don't think there was ever a single fire. Well, I could get seriously rear-ended. My daughter, we could be pushed and knocked right off the highway. And it's like, well, we don't have time to do it today or tomorrow, but, you know, we tried to do something quickly, and that's just the nature of the game. But that would be a general improvement for all dealers. Reserve time for anything that is essentially, you know, life-threatening. And manufacturers could pay dealers more, because obviously if they leave extra time open every single day, they're going to lose some time and pay mechanics sometimes money to not do anything. So there'll be lost time on the schedule, but manufacturers could pay for that lost time in order to increase customer satisfaction when they have something that's, you know, darn right serious and evidently a problem. So I just love I love the key code on this. I love how I don't have to have my keys. I locked myself out, silly boy. I locked myself out the other day, texted Marie, asked her what the code was. She texted me back, got in, and my wallet was in there. So I was locked out and didn't have my wallet, and I was going to going away party for a colleague at the restaurant. So you can't show up with no wallet. And I wanted to get back into the vehicle, obviously. So it's great. I particularly am not having a great time with the fact that I overbought. For me, I was thinking the resale on this should be amazing. So who cares about the monthly payment? But a Lariat extended range is a little bit out of my budget. It's an amazing vehicle. I love it, but it's a little bit out of my budget. Great equipment, but that's also, you know, keyless entry, push button, open roof. I threw on BF Goodrich KO2 tires on it. Love the lighting. And at night, let me tell you, at night, we've got photos of this here. The surround lighting at night is pretty pretty classy. So if it wasn't for the surround lighting, I would have forgot 2 cases of beer. I bought a case of beer for my father-in-law and a case of beer for my brother-in-law. We're not supposed to do Christmas presents, but it's not going to be a Christmas present when they come on the 25th. It's a welcome to my home present. Don't feel obligated to drink them all while you're here present. But we would have forgotten them in there. They would have frozen and exploded everywhere. But the truck with its lighting was like, don't forget these here. I love that back tailgate coming down electronically, going up electronically. I love Ford's. It's on all, you can have it as an option on all their pickup trucks. I love the tailgate step. It is incredible. The lighting, the box lighting, had I hit a little button, this box lighting would have come on. Look, Marie's happy. She spotted the beers. You got floodlights around the vehicle. So there's a little ledge here between my driveway and the grass because this was just built. I'm not going to fall over while I'm carrying stuff because it's lighting up where I need to go. Great look when it comes to the lights. That's not a great look. Sorry, that was not part of the lightning photos. That is not a great look. I've got Lily on my head. I'm surprised Winston in this live hasn't come and jumped on me yet. He's just really happy to be sitting in Marie's co-host chair. And you're not saying very much, Winston. I wish you could throw more conversation in so I could work on getting the right photos up on the screen. Winston, you could do a little more for us here. So these are the things I like and dislike about the Lightning. And back to the complexity issue on that touchscreen. I've owned this vehicle for 10 months. I should be ashamed to say this, but I've worked at a Ford dealer for almost 11 years. And these new 15.5, the 12-inch screen on the XLT standard range, which would have been more in my price range and more fit for me, I'd be loving it and not wanting to trade this at all if that's what I would have gotten. But the 12-inch screen is super easy and practical to use. The 15-inch screen, it's been 10 months. I'm still not fully used to it. I drove, and I'm going to make an edited video on this with, live kind of coverage in the vehicle. But I drove to the hospital an hour and a half away and back in freezing temperatures. Battery was fine. Loved the extended range battery for that. Love the fact that, 500 kilometers in winter or 300 kilometers in the summer cost me roughly $8 of electricity, folks. That's incredible. That's incredible. If I was running gas at $4 a gallon, or here a dollar, roughly generally playing around $1.70 a liter, 4 liters per gallon. So you can, $1.70 times 4 is what I'm paying per gallon. I drove out there and back. It cost me less than $8. Love that. Do not like the complexity of the touchscreen. Because I've owned this for 10 months and was like, why is my windshield freezing up? I'm having trouble seeing, and I'm going to run out of windshield washer fluid to wipe off the ice. What's going on? This thing doesn't heat enough. I was thinking, I'm selling this. I'm getting back from the hospital. I'm selling this crap. It's out of my life. And it's not that it's crap. I love this truck when I understand the truck. So I had to go in, play while driving, not that safe, but while driving, had to fix this solution. Found that it's weird. You've got your temperature at the bottom of the screen. Let's see if I can get a picture of that, but we've got temperature at the bottom of the screen of that touch screen, and you pick your temperature. So you see here, you pick your temperature, you have your heated seats, smart way, heat less in the vehicle, but heat your seats. Smart trick, have your heated steering wheel, but just above, you've got your temperature button for colder or hotter, and the hotter button is red, and let's say I'm running at 23.5 degrees. It's red, the temperature. It's so you're figuring, well, it's trying to keep the cabin at 23.5 degrees Celsius. Wrong. You have to go and hit the button over on the other side of the dial, which is a little button with a gentleman or an individual sitting in a seat, and it shows that air can come on the windshield, your face, or your feet. And I already had all the air I wanted on the windshield. It was blowing out of there, max. I had to hit that button to then see that there's a button that has heat. Well, if I'm asking for 25 degrees in the vehicle, does it not make sense? I want 25 degrees Celsius, hot temperatures in the vehicle against that windshield. Oh no, you have to hit the button that says heat. and then it'll actually send you heat. So that's pretty ridiculous, not intuitive, not a great setup. I feel like some of the programming isn't done by real car people. And the Ford's technology for, driver safety and all this is the technology I like the best. Remember, BlueCruise is rated the best system. I drove a Hyundai Santa Cruz and did not like the technology. When people were driving by, when they were in my blind spot, if I recall correctly, it was cutting the radio, and I was like, "Why is the radio volume being played around with?" It wasn't very great when it comes to blind spot technology, and I think at some points it was even, if I recall, beeping at me. And I was like, "This is the worst." I get frustrated when. I don't mind if a vehicle wants to help me drive. I get upset if it takes my pleasure of driving away. So that's that. That's my love, hate, like, dislike of the Ford F-150 Lightning. I think that many people should, most buyers will think, I need the big battery. I need the big battery. And big battery means big payments, that extended range battery. I think what people really need to ask themselves, what is my daily drive, and will my electric truck cover my daily drive? And buy it in regards to doing your daily drive, and just have a gasoline powered vehicle for when you want to drive on to your vacation. Now, Lily, great co-host here, has come on. Lily, why don't you show them your actual face here? Here's Lily. Here's part of the JCCR family business. We've got Lily here, who just got a haircut. I washed her today in between a crying baby who is always hungry. I don't know what's going on with that baby. But I washed, and then I bottle fed while Marie gave the haircut. So these pooches are looking pretty good compared to what they looked like a few hours ago. So thank you very much, folks, for watching. That's the end of this episode, but the live stream's still going on. If you want to catch our live streams in all its glory and rants, catch us generally Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Now, this is a kind of pre-Christmas special, you could say. So we're doing this on a Saturday to give everyone more time with their family on Christmas Eve. Very important, the most important holiday for my family. A lot of things to focus on, pray about. So thank you so much for making it to this episode. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, and do consider buying a Lightning, but try to buy the right Lightning. Keep in mind about depreciation, but these are great trucks. They're fantastic. They're fun. They're comfortable. They've got insane, amazing power. But like anything, it's not just all perfection. It's not all, what's the expression? Roses. It's not all flowers and roses. So, yeah, stay safe, people. Don't drink and drive. Be smart about that. Call a taxi or don't drink. But be smart, please, everybody. Be very safe. This vehicle will essentially drive itself, but you still shouldn't be intoxicated behind the wheel. So take care of yourselves and your families this Christmas season. If you're in the live, please continue to stay tuned. We've got a couple more episodes. And if you're watching the mini episodes, please catch one of our videos. After watching this, watch one of our videos on vehicles that depreciate the most and vehicles that depreciate the least, because those are tricks to save you thousands of dollars. Or you can also catch a conversation about Porsche and Corvette prices completely collapsing. So let's get to that, folks.